Here we go. Back to back. Excuse me. It's getting chilly out here. I think it is Maryland. It always gets cold right around the end of October. When we get to November, it really gets cold. No snow, though. We don't get snow like that anymore. Don't worry, it'll snow in January. Nah, it'll snow in February. That's when it'll happen. We won't have a snowy Christmas, but we'll have a snowy February. Because that makes sense. Alright. Let's put you right here. This is about to be a whole thing. I got an hour to kill because Game 3 of the World Series starts at like 8. Well, it's like 8:08, but you know what I mean. It starts at 8 o'clock, and I'm not missing that. So, we'll be here pretty much for the hour. Speak on this. And here we go. Ah, man, it's gonna be that type of day. It's gonna be that type of day. Hi. I just want to see, because I do have this set up. No. I do want to see this. This is just my own personal thing before I get started. Can I? Holy crap. Okay, so it is working. I can't do this. Okay. I just wanted to. Ooh, and it's set up. I actually did set this up the right way. Okay. Yeah. I still got a couple episodes to do, right? I did not finish all of this. I got this week to work on this. Who was I on? Sorry, I'm just doing something personal before I get back into actually what I gotta do. No, did Goku, did Vegeta, didn't go on. Finish Piccolo. Okay, I was on Trunks. I have not done Frieza, Goku Black, or Jiren yet. I still have to finish Trunks story. Okay, that's something else. Let me actually get back to my screen. I'm getting off topic. This ain't got nothing to do. Though that does look clean. That does look clean. The screen does look clean. I got this. This is why I got the green screen for. This is why I got the green screen for. Look how clean this is. All right, let me get back to what I got to do. Let me get back to what I got to do. Hey, yo, time out. I'm not trying to fight. I am not trying to fight right now. Time. Wait. No. I finished Trunks. I'm stupid. I was on Goku Black. I'm trying to get past that. Okay. All right, yeah. Because I finished. Yeah, okay, yeah. Wait, actually, I think I got a couple things to finish here. All right. Let me get back on track. I'm on the wrong thing. This ain't for no gaming channel. I'm on the wrong thing. That's my personal thing. Anyway, guys, welcome everybody. What's going on to my guys? The lunch break hot take. This defense stinks. This is one of the worst defenses in franchise history. It's bad. It's like really bad. I didn't even set up my camera in terms of some of this stuff. Probably should have before I started the stream. But I'll just have to read this out for some of this. Because this right here is embarrassing. This Ravens defense is so bad. It's incredibly bad. This defense, in terms of passing yards per game given up, they rank last in the league. In terms of passing touchdowns given up, they're tied for last in the league. In terms of giving up 15 air yard completions, they're last in the league. They have 7 more 15 air yard completions given up than the next closest team. In terms of passing touchdowns given up in the fourth quarter, they're the worst team. They've given up the most passing touchdowns in the fourth quarter. They're an awful football team. It doesn't end there. I got some other stuff too. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Can't even find it, but it was something about the secondary in terms of some of the other stuff they're giving up. But this defense is terrible, guys. This defense is terrible. Welcome, everybody, to the Week 8 therapy session. We've talked about this. We've talked about this throughout the season. Even when things have been good, there's always something to look at. This defense stinks. This defense stinks so bad. They're one of the worst defenses in franchise history. They're rivaling the 90s defense right now. That's an embarrassment. They're a joke. They're a complete joke. They're a complete joke. They're an embarrassment to the franchise. They're an embarrassment to the teams. Their predecessors are watching on in embarrassment and shame. Ed Reed called them out, and he was absolutely right. They don't know what it means to actually finish games off and what it takes to really be a championship team. They stink. They don't suck. The defense doesn't suck. They stink. They're that bad. The secondary does nothing well. Their reliance on Kyle Hamilton is so embarrassing. They are stretching him thin. He has to carry a terrible secondary. He's got to carry that safety unit. A terrible safety unit. And he's got to be used in blitzes. And he's got to somehow help Roquan Smith in coverage in the middle of the field. He can't do it all. He's one person. Their defense stinks. Eddie Jackson is a waste of a roster spot. He stinks. He can't cover. He can't tackle. He was brought here. He was literally brought here to do one thing. Be our Marcus Peters. Because Marcus Peters can't cover. He can't really tackle. But one thing Marcus Peters can do, create turnovers. Marcus Peters is a ball hawk. Eddie Jackson was supposed to be a ball hawk. He was supposed to come here and generate turnovers. Mr. Ballhawk had 3 opportunities yesterday to collect some takeaways. Jameis threw it right to his hands. Mr. Ballhawk couldn't catch not one of those passes. So, you can't catch picks, you can't cover, you can't tackle. What do? Why are you on the roster? A waste of a roster spot. He does nothing well, and everybody can see it. Marcus Williams has been so poor, he's been benched. It's crazy that someone has to say this about him, but he was better with one arm last year than he's been with 2 arms this year. That's embarrassing. For a guy that was seen as one of the best safeties in football to come here and perform this poorly, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. How low he has fallen. What a damn shame. I'm tired of Brandon Stevens. I am. I don't care that they're in position. Matter of fact, I'm glad that was brought up. Let me start looking. Let me pull up some of these comments that this man was saying. Because Harbaugh always has his monthly press conference. His Monday press conference. He has it every week. I don't know why he has a Monday press conference. It's a waste of time. He doesn't give you anything meaningful. But whatever. It is what it is. Let me pull up. Ooh, that's not what I wanted to do. Let me look for some of these quotes. Boy. So John was asked a lot of things. And John provided us with nothing meaningful. Nothing meaningful. And in fact, he looked worse off in this press conference than he normally does. How does that happen? I don't know. I really don't. But somehow, This guy ended up looking worse off after this press conference. It just seems like he doesn't even understand what's going on half the time. He's completely lost it. He's lost it. He has. He's absolutely lost it. This guy doesn't get anything that's happening anymore. He doesn't. He doesn't. So let me talk about some of this stuff. Okay. So, John Harbaugh, let me see. John Harbaugh was asked about any potential defensive changes because this defense has been poor. And he's pretty much said the typical generic 2K answer. It depends on what kind of changes are available to us. We're going to continue to turn over every stone with our defense. There's a lot of things we can improve on. The same generic babble he's been saying for years now. They asked him about Marcus Williams. Marcus is a heck of a player. I have the utmost confidence in him. As a player, a person, and a pro, he plays hard, practices hard. I anticipate him playing great football for us all season and very soon. What? I'm sorry? What? Let me read this again. Marcus Williams. Marcus is a heck of a player. I have the utmost confidence in him. So why did you bench him? If you have the utmost confidence in Marcus Williams, why did you bench him? If you have the utmost confidence in Marcus Williams, why did you bench him? You see this man just lying to the media? You just see him lying to the media? What do you mean you have the utmost confidence in him? Why did you bench him? As a player, a person, and a pro, he plays hard, practices hard. I anticipate him playing great football for us all season and very soon. Marcus Williams hasn't played an ounce of great football for us. Not once this season. You benched him. And now you're trying to sell this to the fan base that you expect him to be playing great football for you all season. He hasn't been playing great football at all. Now magically he's going to start playing great football. He's been terrible all season, and that's going to magically change. This dude don't get anything, man. You benched him, but all of a sudden, you have the utmost belief in him, utmost confidence in him. What is this guy on? They asked him about the defense dropping interceptions. His response, we've got guys with good hands. They can catch the ball. So why didn't they do it yesterday? Why haven't they done it all season? The guy's just lying. The guy is just lying. I get it. It's the media. You don't want to bash your players. But come on, man. You know what a better response in that situation would have been? We've addressed it. We're going to fix it. We can't let that happen. Dropping picks, unacceptable. We can't let that happen. We had opportunities to get the ball back to our offense. We didn't do it. We've talked about it. We've addressed it. We will work on it. That's a better answer. That's a better answer. Admit that the guys are making mistakes. They're dropping passes. They can't let that happen. They're better than this. Admit that. Say you're going to address it. And we'll move forward with it. Instead, you're just going to lie to the media. We've got guys with great hands. We've got players with great hands. They can catch the ball. They haven't been catching the ball all season. They just dropped 5 interceptions. But you're going to lie to the media. Okay. Yeah, you see, this guy doesn't get it. This guy doesn't get it. It's just a joke. It's just a joke. They have good hands. They lead. Oh, now I remember it. The Ravens defense. This is what I wanted to bring up. The Ravens defense leads the league in drop interceptions. But they've got good hands. What is he talking about? I don't get this guy. I don't get this guy at all. What is he going on about? What is he even doing? What is he out here saying? Oh my God. I don't even I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I don't want to continue this. I don't want to continue looking at some of these responses from Harbaugh. I'm done. This is what we have to deal with. The defense stinks. And you've got a head coach that's giving you just nonsense answers like that. We've got guys with good hands. We can catch the football. They haven't been catching the football all season, John. It's week 8 and they lead the league in drop picks. But he has the nerve to say this? Treacherous. The defense stinks, guys. The defense completely stinks. They're awful. They don't suck. They stink. Like, they're just awful. Ed Reed watches this team. They stink and he has to watch them play like this. Ray Lewis is watching this team. They stink and he has to watch them play like this. Terrell Suggs is watching this team. They stink and he's got to watch them play like this. Their predecessors are watching them embarrass themselves on a weekly basis. It's a joke. They're the joke of the National Football League. This defense is the joke of the National Football League. You can have a serious debate. Which defense is worse? Baltimore or Dallas? Because both of them are some clown shows right now. Absolute jokes. Going back to Brandon Stephens, I'm tired of him. It's the same thing with him every week. They keep bringing up how these guys are always within the vicinity. They're the team that's giving up all these plays in tight coverage. But the Ravens are the best defense in tight coverage defense. What the hell is the point of having tight coverage defense if they can never make the plays? How many plays have happened in tight coverage? They can't stop anything. And Brandon Stephens is the main criminal in that. The main suspect. Every time. We see it. If the receiver's playing him outside, towards the sideline, Brandon Stephens never turns his head around. He's right there with the receiver. He doesn't turn his head around. The receiver catches it right on his head. He puts his arm up, trying to make the stop. The receiver catches it right on his head. Every time. Because he never turns around to locate the ball. Every single time. If there's a receiver that's playing him to the inside, they pull a double move on him, it's over. If it's a slant, he's never in position. If it's a crossing route, he gets flat out beat. He can't play the inside to save his life. He can't. Or maybe he can. Maybe it's not just that. Maybe it's less of Brandon Stephens not being able to play inside and more the fact that they can't cover the middle of the field as a team. Maybe that's a schematic issue. We'll get into that. Marcus Williams and Eddie Jackson, virtually useless. Brandon Stephens getting cooked on a weekly basis. Roquan Smith has done absolutely nothing other than tackle. He's just a tackle machine. All he does is make tackles. All he does is make tackles in the run game. He can't cover anybody over the middle. He's getting beat. Quarterbacks are just throwing the ball over his head. He keeps jumping up trying to make a stop, knowing he's not going to make a stop. They're literally attacking him specifically in the middle of the field because they know he's slow and they know he can't stay with anybody. He can't cover receivers. He can't cover tight ends. He stinks at covering the flat. What does he do in coverage? He stinks this year. All he can do is tackle. In the run game, he's right there to make the tackles. But in that coverage, they're getting the completion. He'll get a tackle afterwards, I guess, but they're getting the completion. He can't do anything. Roquan can't do anything this year. He's stinking up the joint this year. He's stinking up the joint. Oh, my goodness. He's stinking up the joint. Absolutely stinking up the joint. Trent Sims has just been a guy. He hasn't been making bad plays, but he hasn't made enough good plays for you to remember it. I don't know if it's a thing where he just hasn't been playing, at an elite high level, or if it's more of the scheme and how they utilize him. I don't know. We've been begging. We've been begging Zachary Orr to just have Trenton Simpson be the one to play the coverage. Let Roquan Smith just roam and be the guy to let him be the guy. Play close to the line of scrimmage. Try to put the pressure on the quarterback. Let him play the run game. In the passing game, that's what you use Trenton Simpson. Let Simpson be the one to cover these receivers underneath. Let him be the one to cover the flat. Let him be the one to cover these tight ends in the middle of the field. We've been asking for that. Instead, we get Roquan trying to cover, and he can't do it. Pass rush, non-existent. Non-existent. Unique Ngakoue, since he's been here, he's been solid. Kyle Van Noy's been doing his thing this year, but that's only 2 people. You're not going to get to the quarterback consistently if it's only 2 people getting pressure because they'll put more bodies on them, and they'll still be able to make stops. Unique Ngakoue's not going to win every matchup. Kyle Van Noy's not going to win every matchup. You need a team effort as a pass rushing unit to be able to go out there and do what you got to do. Unfortunately, they're getting no help. Nnamdi Madubuike has been a complete no-show. Man got the contract and decided, I don't need to try anymore, I guess. He's done nothing for 60% of the season. Absolutely nothing. He has done nothing for 60% of the season. 8 games in, he's done nothing for 60% of them. He got a big contract and just fell off a cliff. Odafe Oweh is the same cycle he's been since he's been here. An endless cycle of mid. He'll start off the season well and then just disappear. He'll start off the season red hot, making you believe this is the year he's going to establish himself as a legit pass rusher. And then he just disappears. He just disappears. The endless cycle of mid. You'll hear about him tearing it up in training camp. Yeah, because our O-line sucks. Tearing it up in training camp. Gets in the game. Tears it up to start the season. Just disappears afterwards. I mean, he did what he needed to do, right? He got off to a hot start. He doesn't need to play the rest of the season. He doesn't need to do anything special. We haven't heard from this guy since week 4 when he got that sack on Josh Allen. What has he done since then? It's a whole bunch of nothing. David Ojabo doesn't even play anymore. He was a healthy scratch in this game. They don't even care to use him. Why is he here at this point? He does nothing for you. He doesn't. He's supposed to be a pass rush. He can't pass rush. I'm just getting a headache thinking about it. He's supposed to be a pass rusher, but he has no good qualities as a pass rusher. But he can't create any sort of pressure. He can't create pressures. He can't get to the quarterback. He does nothing well. What does he do well? As a pass rusher, he doesn't even have the pass rushing traits. He had one brief moment early on in the season and nothing since. That's why he's been a healthy scratch. They don't even care to use him right now because he's not doing anything. The pass rushing unit is just a whole bunch of mid. It's being heavily carried by Kyle Van Noy. He's gotten some help from Unique Ngakoue since he's gotten here. And it's Madubuike underperforming, Odafe Oweh doing what he does every year, and David Ojabo being a healthy scratch because he can't do anything. The pass rushing unit stinks. It stinks. And it's unfortunate because you got guys within that unit, like a Van Noy, like an Ngakoue, that are actually playing well, but they got their teammates letting them down. Defense stinks. They stink. They don't do anything really well. This defense, they can't cover. They can't tackle. They can't catch picks. They can't rush the quarterback. What do they even do? Oh, wait. Like I said in my video, they stopped the run. Oh, congratulations. They stopped the run. Unfortunately, that doesn't matter because teams know your secondary is garbage and will just choose to not run the football and just throw the football. They can just air it out. Why would I try to establish the run game when I can air it on your secondary? Every time. Oh, another thing. They can't get off the field on third down. They can't get off the field on third down. Every time. Watch the games. When it's a third down situation, watch the middle of the field. Watch the middle of the field. Watch the middle of the field. When it's a third down play, watch the middle of the field and see what happens. It's every single week with this defense. They stink, which leads us to the main guy to speak of. Zachary Orr. I don't know what he's doing. I'm about done with him too. I don't know what he's doing. There hasn't been a single ounce of improvement. There hasn't been a single ounce of improvement. Not 1 ounce of improvement since this man got here. Not 1 ounce of improvement since this guy has started out as a defensive coordinator. In week one, this defense struggled to make stops consistently on third down. It's week 8, and this defense still consistently struggles to make stops on third down. In week 1, this defense could not cover the middle of the field. It's week 8. They still can't cover the middle of the field. In week 1, the defense had miscommunication issues. It's week 8. They still have miscommunication issues. Where are the adjustments? Where are the improvements? What does this guy do as a defensive coordinator? Do I blame Zachary Orr for the loss? No, I look more towards your players dropping 5 interceptions. So I think he was the least part of our problems in the game against the Browns. But that doesn't erase the fact that the entire season, these 3 same things are still here. And guess what? It showed its head in this game too. Because they can't make stops on third down. They can't cover the middle of the field. The miscommunication is still there. Now they can't catch picks. What do? Zachary Orr, what adjustments have you made? How have you improved this defense? What do you do? Maybe it's time to just admit he's not ready yet. It's fine. You know, people keep trying to compare him to McDonald, but people also forget McDonald went back to college and was a defensive coordinator there too. He went back to college before he came back to us. He at least had experience at the position. Had Zachary Orr had experience in the position? Has he had that experience? I just want to know. Had he had that experience? They just promoted him. I don't even know if he had that experience. They just promoted him. They legitimately just promoted him. Think about this. Mike McDonald is different. People keep talking about, well, he was poor and stuff, and it was like, he was poor with the defense in 2022. So we got to give Zachary Orr a chance. Dude, first of all, Mike McDonald had coaching experience as a defensive coordinator. He went back to college, became a defensive coordinator, I believe it was for Michigan, and had success there. Then came back into the league, became the defensive coordinator for the Ravens, and created that gauntlet defense we saw in 2023. But in terms of how 2022 was, they were terrible the first 5 games. Go look at the numbers. The first 5 games of the season, that defense was awful. But then the next 3 weeks, they started to show improvement. By week 8, that defense was significantly better than the defense you had seen through the first 5 weeks. You actually saw adjustments made by Mike McDonald. You actually saw improvements with the defense with Mike McDonald. We've seen none of that with Zachary Orr. Not a single ounce of that. Is it fair to just say he's not ready? Maybe he does have some of the qualities that could be a defensive coordinator, but maybe he's just not ready. Is it fair to say Zachary Orr is not ready for the position? Is it fair to say that? Maybe he's just not ready. Maybe he's just not ready. And we can accept that. He's not ready. Sometimes it can take time. Maybe he became a defensive coordinator a little bit too early. He's not ready. It's fair to say he's not ready. It's fair to say that. He's just not ready. So you need to give it to somebody who can handle this, that does have experience. Me personally, I would recommend go looking for that. But we all know if Zachary Orr loses the defensive coordinator spot, he'll be demoted and they'll just promote Dean Pease to be the defensive coordinator, which will solve absolutely nothing. You need to demote him and you need to go get somebody else. That would be a solution. But it's not, even if you did that, I doubt it would fix all the problems with this defense. Because part of the issues with the defense is the play calling and the schemes, but another part of it is lack of effort. I mean, I don't know if these guys care. Are you watching Eddie Jackson drop these picks? If the execution's not there, the game calling, the schematic schemes from the defense, the coverages, it's not there. But the execution is also not there. Guys just don't seem like they care. Marcus Williams half the time doesn't look like he cares to tackle. These guys can't tackle. That's an effort thing. If you can't tackle, what do? They can't cover, they can't tackle, they can't catch picks, they can't get to the quarterback, they don't do anything well. They can't get off the field on third down. They stink. They absolutely stink. And Zachary Orr's got to take some responsibility for that, but he doesn't deserve all of it. Because you can't teach effort. He can't teach these guys to catch the football. He can't teach these guys to tackle. This is the same defense you had last year, minus a few players. Yes, you're missing a Clowney. Yes, you're missing a Ronald Darby. Yes, you're missing a Patrick Queen. Yes, you're missing a Geno Stone. But you're telling me those 4 players were the reason that defense was that great last year? No, it's because you had Mike McDonald. You had 3 coaches on the defense, all of them gone to different teams. You're stuck with some of the worst aspects here. They should have never set up for Zachary Orr as a defensive coordinator. Based off of what? What made them think he was ready to take over this defense? What did they see from him specifically that made them think he was ready? He wasn't ready. He's not. I don't want to sit back and trash him and act like he's garbage and he'll never be great. No, I just think he's not ready, which is fair. I think he could use more experience. He's just not ready. This is his first time being a defensive coordinator. You can't expect him to automatically just be great. I just think he's not ready. And that's fair to say. He's not ready. Give him a little bit more time. Maybe in the future he'll be ready. But I don't think he's ready right now. The defense has been lost the entire season. How many times have we watched the game where literally the quarterback is set, the ball's about to be snapped, you take a look at the Ravens defense, and they're still confused and trying to call out the plays and trying to get people set. They're never really set on defense. So many times they get abused by the offense they're going up against because they're never properly set. What do you do with that? What do you do with that? It's the same thing, man. What do you do with that? It's a problem. It's a legitimate problem. What's up? Oh, go ahead.
It's cool to you, and I bring fun now.
It just happens to be here. But it's a problem. It's a problem. They don't do anything well. And maybe he's just not ready. Maybe he's just not ready. And you got to be willing to admit it. Maybe he's just not ready. It's been like that all season. It has been like that all season. It's been problematic. We see it every single week. We said give him time. You gave him 8 games. And there hasn't been any improvements. That's the thing that's getting me. There's been no improvements. It's fine if there was still issues here and there. But there's been no adjustments. There's been no improvements. 8 games and 0 improvements? The same issues you had in week 1 is the same issues you have now? You're just not ready. It's fair to say that. You're just not ready. They don't do anything well. Can't cover. Can't tackle. Can't catch the ball. Can't get to the quarterback. They don't do anything well. 8 games in and they still can't cover the middle of the field. 8 games in and they still can't get teams off the field on 3rd down. What do you do with that? Part of it has to be execution, but a good part of it has to be play calling, coverages, defensive schemes. You had Mike McDonald here last year, and they never looked like this. Even in his first season as the defensive coordinator, they were bad in the first 5 games. But I don't know if they were this bad. Like, that Dolphins game was probably the worst of the worst. But even so, I don't know if they were as bad as this. This is something different. They're putting up historically bad numbers. Historically bad numbers. That is not a good look at all. At all. Historically bad numbers, not a good look at all. We've sat back and we've been patient. And we said, let's see some improvement. And we haven't seen an ounce of improvement. I don't know where you go from here, honestly. Because even if you get rid of him, it's not going to solve the problems. Knowing Harbaugh, he's just going to have one of his guys from inside his from inside his coaching staff, just somebody on the defense is just going to get promoted. It's not going to change much. Mike had better talent. Dude, this is the same defense Mike. This is the same defense Mike had last year as this defense now. Maybe you want to make an adjustment, say, well, he had Geno Stone, and he had Ronald Darby, and he had Patrick Queen and Jadeveon Clowney. Well, first of all, if I was to talk about how he looked in his first year compared to how Zachary Orr looks here, he didn't have Ronald Darby in 2022. He didn't have Jadeveon Clowney in 2022, so he could take those dudes off. Geno Stone wasn't even really playing in 2022. So Patrick Queen's the only one you can bring up here. Where's the pass rush? Nowhere to be found. They can't cover. Can't cover, can't tackle, can't get off the field on third down, can't cover the middle of the field, can't get to the quarterback. They don't do anything well. They do nothing well as a defense. They do nothing well as a defense. Nothing. It's just sad. It's honestly just sad. It's just sad that this defense has looked this bad, man. They're last in a lot of things. The only thing this defense knows how to do is stop the run. And even then, I don't even think that's really impressive because I have a theory, or at least I have a belief, that that teams are purposely not looking to establish the run consistently against the Ravens just because they know they can just air it out against our defense. Why would I try to run the football against you guys if I could just air it out because your secondary can't stop a nosebleed? What do you do with that? 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 I'm just saying, what do you do with that? At all. It's just frustrating, man. It's just frustrating. You gotta deal with this.
Is there a way I can get help?
What happened?
Is there a way I can get help?
How long do you need? How much help? Give me a second, guys. How much help? I'll be back. Don't you just love having to carry heavy boxes upstairs? So fun. So fun. Oh, God, give me a second here. Why are those boxes so heavy? Not even boxes, they're luggage. And it's full to the brim. Them things are like 70 pounds. Why did he stuff them full of... Alright, whatever. Felt like bricks. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, yeah. Defense stinks. Terrible. Can't do anything right. They've looked bad all season. No adjustments. No adjustments. No adjustments. No improvements. None of that. It's been like that all season, man. It's been like that all season. And it's not going to get better. I don't see it getting better. Unless changes are made. You've given this guy a chance. You've given Zachary Orr a chance. I just don't think he's ready. I don't want to bash him and say he's trash. I just don't think he's ready. I don't think he's ready. I don't see it. I don't see him being ready for the role. He doesn't look like he knows what he's doing at times. I don't know what to say, man. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say, man. It's unfortunate. Can this defense get better and improve? Absolutely. They can. They absolutely can get better and improve. But changes need to happen in order for that to happen. Changes need to be made if this defense is going to improve. I don't know when those changes are going to happen. And I don't know if those changes can even happen. They're the worst defense in football right now. In order for them to turn this around, they have to become at least a middle-of-the-team defense. At best. They're the worst right now. Halfway through the season, they're the worst defense in football. Where do you go from here, honestly? It's just, what a shame. You know the worst part about this? The defense has played so poor that we haven't really gotten to discuss the offense that much. Now, you guys know me. I've discussed the entire team. So I talk about the defense and the offense every single week. I don't leave anything away. I talk about everything. So I don't leave anything out. I'll speak on both sides. I'll speak on all three phases of football. I'll speak on everybody. I always do that. But I know a majority of people aren't even willing to talk about the offense because the defense has been so putrid, we just want to ignore what happens with the offense. And that's not the right thing to do. I understand we got to focus on the defense, but let's not pretend that the offense doesn't have its problems. The offensive line's still an issue. 8 games in, we still don't buy it. Todd Monken exposed himself in that game yesterday. He exposed how he felt about the offensive line. He's been hiding that O-line the entire season. He's been coming up with disguises and adding extra protection because that offensive line is not good enough to protect Lamar Jackson. He knows it. Did you see how he was consistently trying to get something going with these jet sweeps? Did you see how he was putting Derrick Henry in the wildcat formation on 4th and 1? Quarterback sneaking it on 3rd and 1 with Kolar. Like, he's coming up with all these trick plays, endless sweeps and end arounds here, left and right with Zay Flowers. He knows this offensive line's not good. He's coming up with any way to get the ball moving. If you have a good front seven and you're able to generate pressure, you're going to cook the Ravens offensive line because they can't block to save their lives. Falele's getting exposed on film and nothing's changing. They won a 5-game winning streak. Why would we change anything? We won 5 straight games. The problems still remain, both defensively and offensively. The offensive line is still an issue, and they continue to ignore the shortcomings of Falele just because of a couple decent performances. The offensive line is still a problem. Offensive line is still a problem. The receivers. This game was a perfect example of why I've sat back and said, you need to go get that third receiver. Come up with a package. Come up with something. Come up with something. Come up with a package of Nelson Aguilar or maybe some draft picks and go get you that third receiver. Bateman had a bad game. There's nothing I can do about it. He's actually played well throughout the season. He's been on the field making plays, and it's gotten better. So this has been one bad game. It is what it is. You'll have to deal with it. There's nothing I can do about it because we know Bateman's one of their guys. It happens. Zay Flowers played well. So there's nothing bad to say about Zay Flowers. It's just one of those moments. But I feel that third receiver spot would be a lot better for the Ravens if they could go get themselves a big-bodied physical receiver. Go get yourself a big-bodied physical receiver. Did you see the second to last play of the game? Lamar Jackson made a damn near perfect throw over the hands of the defender, right to Zay Flower, who's jumping as high as he can to get the ball. It goes through Zay Flowers' hands, incomplete. Dog, if you have a big physical receiver in that situation, he's catching that ball, that's a touchdown, and we win the game. Nothing against Zay Flowers. He's been phenomenal. You want to keep him here. He's that guy. But in moments like this, you know what would help out your quarterback? Having a big physical receiver that can go win those jump balls. We don't have anyone like that. And the Ravens keep trying to run plays with Nelson Aguilar to get these jump balls. He can't. He's not built like that. He's not that guy. He does not jump up to get the football. He's not him. So they need to go get that third receiver. It would make things a lot better for this offense if you had that big-bodied receiver. You may ask, well, what about Tez Walker? What about Tez Walker? He ain't playing. I don't even know why they draft him. This is the thing about the Ravens. They keep a hold of all these draft picks, and then they don't even use the players. Didn't they draft a running back? Wasn't it Ali that was drafted this year, or was it last year? He doesn't get time. They waste draft picks. They drafted a quarterback and he's not even on the team. Why is this team so fascinated with draft picks? You keep 10, 11 draft picks and then you waste the majority of them on players that's not even going to play. Some of them don't even make the damn team. Why are they so fascinated with draft picks? They're not going to use these guys. Use these draft picks to go make some trades. What's wrong with this team? Are they stupid? You keep a hold of all these draft picks just to draft guys that aren't even going to make the roster. And when they do make the roster, they don't do anything. What do? What impact do they have? Just wasting all these draft picks as if life's going to change. And then we got to hype him up. Oh, look at this 4th round pick. Look at this 5th round pick. He's going to make an impact. No, he's not. Not on the Ravens. Just wasted picks. Instead of keeping a hold of all these damn picks, how about you have 5 picks, but you go make some trades and set yourself up to try to compete for a Super Bowl this year? How about you do that? Keeping all these picks for no reason, like it's going to change life. It ain't going to change a damn thing. Idiotic franchise just keeping this. You see what Kansas City's doing? That's why they're a dynasty, and that's why we're not going to win a damn thing. Because they know what they're doing and we don't. Anyway, yeah, offensive line's an issue. Receivers, you need somebody. You need that third guy. Nelly's got to go, and you got to go get that big physical receiver to take his place. Play calling can be inconsistent at times. And the Ravens, I don't care what you want to tell me, man. I don't care how great Derrick Henry has been running the ball and stuff. The Ravens continue to showcase their level of incompetence under John Harbaugh. They love running away from the run. And people talk about how the Browns' defense stuffed the run. Yeah, because the Ravens decided to utilize them the way they utilize all their other guys. Well, did you see them run the I formation? How many times did they put Derrick Henry in the I and try to toss him the ball? How many times did they try to have heavy protection on the left side? What happened to lining up in 22 personnel? Heavy personnel with 2 tight ends and Patrick Ricard as an extra blocker, lining up Derrick Henry in the I and tossing him in the ball. Did they do that yesterday? Did they do that consistently yesterday? They didn't even try. They got him right next to Lamar in the shotgun. Let's do this zone read type of run and tell him to go. They're going away from what works with Derrick Henry. They're literally going away from what works with Derrick Henry and doing nothing with it. To make matters worse, one of the best players on the team is consistently on the sideline in the biggest moments of the game. Why? Because we've got to give Justice Hill his touches. He's got this contract. He's worked really hard. We've got to give him his touches. So you will actively choose, with the game on the line, you will actively choose to not have one of arguably your second best player on the team. So you'll actively choose to not have your second best player on the team in a crucial moment with the game on the line. Does that make any type of sense? Why is this team so stupid? Why do they keep doing dumb things? Kansas City laughs at us for being idiotic every time, and we fall for it over and over again. I just know, come playoffs, they're giving Derrick Henry 13 carries. They're gonna give Derrick Henry 13 carries. Chris Jones and that defense is gonna slow him down. They're gonna crap themselves. They're gonna proceed to just say, let's air it out. Throw the ball. Derrick Henry will be standing on the sideline in a crucial 4th quarter playoff game, and Justice Hill will be out there. We know it's coming. Wake up, people. This team doesn't change under Harbaugh. It's gonna happen. Learn from their mistakes, improve, change. We don't do that under Harbaugh. We don't. Don't ever focus on the wins. Focus on the losses and how the Ravens lose games. I guarantee you it's the same nonsense over and over again. And it will happen again in the playoffs. Bill Belichick is 100% right about this team. Mike Tomlin is 100% right about this team. Ed Reed is 100% right about this team. And because all those three guys are right, this team ain't winning a damn thing come January. If they even get there. I said this years ago. This team is not winning a Super Bowl with Harbaugh still being here. Years have passed, and not a single thing has changed. I have not seen a single thing that has convinced me this team's going to win a Super Bowl. That's why I came into last season with no expectations. That's why I came into this season with no expectations. Because I know under Harbaugh it's a waste of time. We don't grow, we don't change, we don't improve, we don't evolve. We're the same. You can have Derrick Henry all you want. In a crucial playoff game, he's getting 13 carries, and he's going to be standing on the sideline pissed off in the fourth quarter while Lamar has to do it all by himself and try to save the season. And when it doesn't happen, Lamar's a choker, can't get it done. Meanwhile, other people in the media will sit back and say, why didn't you play Derrick Henry? The fans will be asking, why didn't you give Derrick Henry only 13 carries? It'll be the same idiotic nonsense that will cost them in January. And to make matters worse, Harbaugh's not going to get fired for that. The endless cycle of idiocy will continue in Baltimore. And they won't win a championship. So what's the point in even trying to argue with it? What's the point? What's the point? It's the same story on the Harbaugh every year. You can add all the talent in the world. It'll be wasted in this organization. Go out. Go get Sutton. Be wasted here. Be wasted. Go find a way to get Max Crosby. His efforts will be wasted come January. Because he'll put up a masterclass performance and it'll be wasted. Because his offense will go away from what works and proceed to do things that don't work. And they'll cost themselves in the playoffs. It might happen to the Texans. It might happen to the Bills. It might happen, not to the Bills. It might happen against the Texans. It might happen against the Bills. It'll certainly happen against Kansas City. We already know we're going to lose to the Chiefs. Nobody trusts Harbaugh in the playoff game against Andy Reid. Andy Reid coaches circles around Harbaugh every time. They're not even in the same class, not in the same stratosphere. Would never compare Andy Reid and John Harbaugh. They don't belong in the same room together. It's the same story every year. People buy into it and try to do this hope. Let me tell you, man, the number one word in Ravens vocabulary, in the Ravens flocks vocabulary, the number one word, if we do this, if we do that, if we change this, if we change that, if we don't do this, if we don't do that, if we improve on this, if we improve on that. Man, if we had this defense with this offense, if we had this guy when this guy's playing, if. That is the number one word utilized by Ravens flock. A bunch of if. And it never results in anything because it never comes to fruition. It's a waste of time. It is what it is. Me personally, I know this is the case. I'm going to still watch the games. I enjoy football. This is my team. I'm going to keep watching. But I have zero expectations. I know how the story ends for this John Harbaugh-led Ravens team. We all know how the story ends for them. Come January, we know how it's going to end. We do. At the end of the day, I'm just hoping the Dodgers win the World Series. I'm about to get off soon because the Dodgers game's about to start. Game 3 is about to happen between the Dodgers and Yankees, so I got to go see that. Me, personally, if the Dodgers win the World Series, beat the Yankees, who I hate, by the way, I'm chilling. The Ravens want to waste another year of Lamar Jackson's career. Nothing I can do about it. The sad reality that I'm slowly starting to accept, is that we're going to waste a Hall of Fame quarterback's career. Because Lamar is going to do everything in his power to try to get this team to a Super Bowl, and it's not going to happen under John Harbaugh. And every year we fail, they'll point the finger at Lamar. They'll never point it at Harbaugh. We're going to waste a Hall of Fame quarterback's career because we can't get rid of this head coach, and we can't learn from our mistakes. Lamar's career is going to be really, really unfortunate to talk about if he doesn't get this championship. And with Harbaugh being here, I doubt it's ever going to happen. But the Ravens are too blind to see this. The Ravens like to do things their own way. They're a prideful organization. They've decided to give all the power to Harbaugh. And, he has his best friend in Eric DeCosta as the GM. Steve doesn't care. He only cares about making money. I've told you this for years now. Steve only cares about making money. He actually doesn't care about winning a chip. Steve already won the chip. You saw, they've already won a championship with Steve being the owner. Why would he care? Steve was the owner when we won in 20. He's already won a championship as an owner. That's enough for him. He's not looking to make a dynasty in this city. He doesn't care about this team winning multiple championships. He doesn't care. They won with him being the owner. They've made so much money. They continue to garner revenue. And because Lamar's here, they're going to get even more money. Steve does not care about winning a Super Bowl. If he did, Harbaugh would not be here. Significant changes would be made. Because when you see the same thing happening over and over and over again, you make a change. Since 2022, we are the #1 team when it comes to blowing double-digit leads in the fourth quarter. We're also the #1 team when it comes to blowing leads in the final 2 minutes of a football game. Since 2022, we're first in that. Is that not a fireable offense for that to happen with you being here? This team has choked away so many games over the last 3 years, but that coach still remains here. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? It's the same cycle. That's why I tell you fans, don't come into any Ravens Stevenson with expectation. This team goes 17-0. I still wouldn't trust him in the playoffs because John Harbaugh's still here. And I know the same idiotic mistakes that are happening will happen. Then he'll go to the podium. He'll talk about how this can't happen. We'll have to improve. We'll continue to do this and do that. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Ain't nothing going to change. Ain't nothing going to change. Our story of losing in January, we're on pace for that. Because this team's not going to learn their lesson. And it's going to be very tough watching Lamar walk off that field in frustration in January because we lost another playoff game. The only thing I hope is that it's not another home playoff game. Because I don't want the fans of Baltimore to have to see this team embarrass themselves in January again in our stadium. Because you know Ray Lewis is going to come out. And I don't want Ray Lewis to be in the building as his team chokes another playoff game. It's going to happen with Harbaugh still being here. So I hope you guys are just mentally prepared. Because it's going to happen. And when it does happen, we'll just have to be here for that. I've been waiting for years for them to prove me wrong. But there hasn't been a single ounce of being proven wrong once. The closest you got last year. People almost believed in you. And you choked in the AFC Championship game. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Anyway, that's it for me. I'm going to read some comments and I'm going to get out of here because I got to go see the World Series. Let's see. What's up, Corey? What's going on? Vesno. Shades of the 96 Ravens defense all over again is going to keep echoing in our heads until we see changes in the coaching staff. Ain't nothing going to change. Trying to start a gaming channel. I actually wouldn't mind doing that, but I don't think I'm doing it anytime soon. I see the Chiefs still improving their defense. Can't wait till our defense gets together. Yeah, good luck with that. The Chiefs are a dynasty that actually knows how to win, and they actually know what it takes to win. And their owner actually wants them to be a dynasty. So he cares about winning a championship instead of just making money because he realizes if you could turn your team into a dynasty and win championships, you'll make even more money than just settling for what you have. But the Ravens are content. That's what they are as an organization, and it shows in their decision-making. So yeah, you'll see teams like the Chiefs. You know, funny enough is I'm seeing all these Ravens fans that are Ravens defenders that keep defending this nonsense that the Ravens keep doing. They sit back and say, well, you can't have both. We said we need a wide receiver. We need an edge rusher. You can't have both. I just watched the Chiefs trade for a wide receiver in DeAndre Hopkins and then trade for an edge rusher. They had both. The Chiefs can have both, but the Ravens can't. Funny how that works. At least I enjoyed my birthday. I didn't let this game ruin my day. Defense sucks. It's a joke. It is what it is. It's going to be a long season. Yeah, man, don't let this team ruin your mood. They're not worth it. They're not. This defense got no excuses like the late 90s, 2013, 2015, 2021, and so it's the worst. Bro, the 2013 defense was gutted after the Super Bowl. They still perform better than this 2024 defense. The 2015 and 2021 defense, they were both injured to hell. We had lost everybody. Remember in 2015, we lost T-Sizzle to start off the season. Week 1 at Denver, we lost him. Marcus Peters didn't even start the 2021 season. He got injured in training camp. Both those teams were decimated defensively. Both of them played better defense than the 2024 unit. The 2017 unit was just as bad as this 2024 unit. But that 2017 unit led the league in turnovers. This defense does nothing good. So this might actually be the worst defense we've had since the 90s. Bateman saying the sun was in his face. What am I going to do with that? What am I going to do with that? What do they do during the week? I don't know. I don't even know at this point. Do they practice? Because it doesn't look like they practice. Eddie Jackson got to get benched. Bro, you have Bo on this team. Just start Bo alongside Ardarius Washington. You got Arthur Millette. You get back Wiggins and Humphrey. That should be your secondary. You get Marcus Williams off the team in a trade. You bench Eddie Jackson. You play Bo alongside Washington and alongside Hamilton. That's your safety unit. That would be a smart decision from a team. But they like their guys, so they're going to stick with what they have. Just for them to blow it in a playoff game. Eddie Jackson is Marcus Peters without the playmaking ability. So he's useless. Edry would never. How do you drop 3 picks in one game? It's an embarrassment to this franchise. If memory serves, I don't think Marcus Williams has been the same since the Minneapolis Miracle happened. No, that was his rookie year. That was 2017 with the Saints. That was his rookie year. So, and he had actually gotten over that and became one of the best safeties in football with the Saints. So that was not actually the right thing because it happened in his rookie year. Seems like the players and fans want the team to win a championship, but the coaches and the higher-ups don't care about winning in the postseason. If they did, they would make things happen. Ain't nothing gonna change, man. I said the same thing. These guys got paid, aren't hungry anymore. It's just embarrassing. And the Browns aren't even good. Wait until January, probably. I mean, I already expect them. I already came into the season with the expectations they're probably going to lose in January. Defense is chopped liver or worse than that. The defense has regressed so much, they've become historically bad. They went from historically great to historically bad in one season. What a joke. Chiefs traded for a number 1 wide receiver. Ravens GM and front office don't even get an elite wide receiver for 7 years. They're just stuck in their own ways. Could y'all still imagine if we still had McDonald? I wish we never lost our coaching staff. This is not a championship team. I've been telling you guys for weeks, this is not a championship team because that defense is stunk. They're the 2017 Steelers. Don't trust them. No pass rushers, cornerback, and safeties can't catch. It's a mess. Not going to win a Super Bowl with Rashad Bateman as the number 2 wide receiver. You may have a point with that. Anyone else saw a fan beef with Eddie Jackson on Instagram? Dude's more focused going at fans on Instagram than actually focusing on playing on the field. And one of the dude just got at him and he was like, I'm going to slap him. I really wish that fan that got on this man's nerves would have sat back and said, oh, you want to slap me? You got to catch me first. But seeing by how you performed on the field, we clearly know you can't catch. Just sad. Hey. Defense is trash, man. You think we should trade for someone defensive? Dude, the team needs an edge rusher and they need a safety. That's what they need. An edge rusher and a safety. Ravens fan base crashing out like crazy this week, myself included. Yeah, guys are crashing out, but I've told you guys, you should have expected this. But we're fans, so it is what it is. Millionaire players complaining about coach, not a super... Man, it's just, I'm so sick of them. I'm so sick of this nonsense happening every year. But hey, Dodgers win the World Series. I could care less what the Ravens do. However, like all times, the Ravens will get everything together, make the playoffs, and beat themselves in either the wild card or divisional round. I don't see them going to the AFC Championship game. At this point, I don't see them getting past the wild card round. Ravens suck. Yeah, defense stinks. So what else you can do? Lost to the Raiders and Browns. Yeah, they embarrassed themselves. They deserve to be laughed at right now. You lose to the Raiders and Browns, you deserve to be laughed at. The Ravens will play their best football against the best competition and play their worst football against the worst competition. That's a team that's destined at this point to fail. You play your best against the best, and you play your worst against the worst. That's a team that's setting themselves up for January to underperform. And it's happened year in and year out. Nelson can't catch. Ball always beating them up. I'm so tired, man. It's the same story every year. Sutton is that guy, but we don't trade for receivers. At this point, Denver's 5-3. They're not trading Sutton. They're just not. If they were like 3-5 or 2-6, they would, but they're not trading Sutton. Why did the Ravens go away from feeding King Henry, especially having a depleted defense? Because it's the same thing they do every year, Kevin. They go away from what works and tries to do things that don't work. They're stupid. They're stupid. It's always been this way under John Harbaugh. Go away from things that don't work and go away from things that work and stick with things that don't work. They always do these idiotic things. And then they come back and say the same generic nonsense in the press conference. And their quarterback has to answer for it. Flacco dealt with that nonsense. Lamar's dealing with it now. It's crazy how Flacco's become more loved after leaving Baltimore. Crazy how that works. He's been more beloved by the league after leaving Baltimore. It's insane. It's insane. Flacco had to deal with this nonsense. Lamar's dealing with it even more. At least Flacco was able to get a Super Bowl in that magical year. Thank you, Jacoby Jones. God rest his soul. Because Jacoby Jones saved everything. Special teams was garbage. And we'll get into that just before I leave, too. I don't know why they stopped handing Henry the ball. Because they do this every single time, man. What's going on, Ravens C? Ravens will not win until Harbaugh's gone. I agree with you 100%. Team ain't mentally ready. They'll never be mentally ready. They'll never be mentally ready under Harbaugh. They never will be. Harbaugh and EDC not on a hot seat. They're not going anywhere. They're not going to go anywhere. Ravens care about getting Lamar the MVP instead of a Super Bowl championship. Chances are he'll probably get the MVP this year and the team will lose in the wild card round. And now people sit back and say he has more MVPs than playoff wins. We might as well miss the playoffs if we're gonna play defense like this. We are tanking if we don't care. Dude, you're 5-3. It's too late to sit back and think about a tank. Lost the Steelers last year in Pittsburgh because of the drop balls. Don't worry, we got a loss in Pittsburgh happening this year because they'll do the same thing. Mike Tomlin knows we don't play for all 4 quarters. He called us out on that years ago. We're not a 4 quarters team. We don't play 4 quarters, and they continue to show that. What a joke. People call you out and you don't improve on your problems. What a joke of a team. I just realized Dean Pease was the DC in 2014 when we blew the 2-4. Yes, he was. He was there for that. He was there in 2016 when we gave up a game-winning touchdown with a minute left in Pittsburgh for the division. He was there in 2017 when we gave up the 4th and 12 play. He's been here for some of our dumbest moments as a team. So don't worry. If they decide to demote Zachary Orr, Dean Pease will take over as defensive coordinator, and he'll be right there to blow it in the biggest moment in the playoff game. Just you wait. Our defense play like the Saints. Yeah, I mean, we feel like the 2010 Saints right now. Like, I'm looking at Lamar Jackson, and I have to tell this man, you got to score 30 every week if you want to win. That's just how it is. Lead the league in drops as DBs is embarrassing. You're absolutely right, man. Ravens C, you're absolutely right. Chiefs are 7-0. They're not 5-0. Chiefs 7-0, and they still make moves to get better. The Ravens slow to make trades. They're so out of touch. They'll continue to be out of touch, and they'll waste a Hall of Fame quarterback's career. Nothing you can do about it. Most passing touchdowns allowed through first 8 games. 2011 Packers, most passing yards allowed through first 8 games. 2011 Packers, 2,397. 2012 Saints, 2,258. 2015 Giants, 2,523. 2024 Ravens, 2,331. All historically bad defenses. How about that? Or all poor defenses. All poor defenses through those first 8 games. This title's hilarious. Oh, I've been doing this every week. We've been doing a therapy session since week 1 because I already knew how the season was going to go, and I already knew Ravens fans were going to need it. As soon as we lost that game in Kansas City, my mind thought we're going to need a therapy session this year because if that's how we're going to lose, the fans are going to need it. So I've been starting this since week 1. Tune in next week when we find a way to potentially blow it against the Broncos and Bo Nix. I think Marcus Williams and Z Orr are bumping heads and he won't play for him. We need pass rush over safety and an A-tier pass rusher, not to Darius Smith. We need a lot of things, but we're not going to get it. Buffalo made a trade to help their team. Kansas City made 2 trades to help their team. Ravens haven't done anything. Looks like EC's not doing his team by dropping him. They're not going to do anything major, man. It's just going to pick up someone and try to be like, oh, he's a guy. He's a Raven. He's going to help us out. They're not picking up a game changer, unfortunately. So this team's just going to fall on the same level of complacency that they've been in for years now. And they just won't win a Super Bowl. And they'll just run it back next year. They'll waste a Hall of Fame quarterback's career by doing the same idiotic, dumb nonsense they've been doing for years now. It is what it is. It is what it is. I was done when Joe Burrow threw for 5 touchdowns on them. Yeah, they're an embarrassment. They're a joke to the NFL right now. I'm just gonna tune in each week to see Lamar make some cool plays. I don't give a F about the outcome. I don't blame you, man. I told everybody don't come into the season with expectations because they're just gonna let you down. I didn't come into the season last year with expectations. I didn't come into the season this year with expectations. So this is not gonna hurt me. Dodgers win the World Series. I'm all good. But it is what it is. And yeah, Buffalo making a trade. Buffalo putting up 10 points against this trash defense was a wake-up call for them. That's why they got Amari Cooper. They'll be better off because of that decision. Anyway, guys, I think we'll end the therapy session here because I want to go watch the World Series. Ravens defense stinks. We'll continue to talk about them because they're going to continue to stink. Unless major changes happen, we're stuck with this trash defense. Nothing you can do about it, guys. It is what it is. Anyway, hope you guys enjoy your Monday. Obviously, Monday Night Football is getting ready to happen between the Steelers and the Giants. I'm not watching. I'm watching the World Series because my team's in the World Series. So you guys enjoy the rest of your night. I'll see you later because we'll probably have to continue to talk about this. We also have to talk about State of the AFC North. That might come out tonight if we see, depending on how the Giants and the Steelers game happens, we might have the State of the AFC North the State of the AFC North video come out today or tomorrow. I'll figure it out. But yeah, I'm going to go watch the World Series. You guys enjoy the rest of your night. Be sure to stay safe and peace out.